No matter what happens with technology and everything else, no matter what happens, people are going to like faster delivery.
Your own mind can occasionally be your own worst enemy. It's difficult to stay focused and not be led astray by your thoughts and feelings. Take the first step and identify your big ideas. There should only be a few, and many times they are very easy to identify. Don't overcomplicate the process by allowing the little things to distract you from the big ideas. Big ideas will remain stable over time because people will always have the same basic needs. Even if you keep it simple, you can still become stressed. Stress primarily comes from not taking action on something you have control over. There may be something you haven't identified and haven't completed. Once you identify it, you can begin to address it. Don't ignore things you shouldn't be ignoring. Stress doesn't come from hard work. Even if you are in a hard spot, take the first steps necessary to fix it.
If you start to think that way, it changes how you spend your time, how you plan.
Entrepreneurial spirit and heart work best when combined with skill. But how do you achieve that? Skill makes you robust, but you have to have the knowledge to go along with it. Don't forget where you come from, and treat every day like it's day one. Stay in touch with your customers and keep decisions coming rapidly. But don't treat these decisions like they're irreversible. At the end of the day, remember your work-life harmony. If you feel energized at work, you will feel energized at home, and vice versa. If you find yourself drained, ask yourself if your work is giving you or depriving you of energy. Listen to your own thoughts, but make sure you aren't tricking yourself out of reaching your goals.
Few big successes compensate for dozens and dozens of things that didn't work. Primarily comes from not taking action over something that you can have some control over. If I find that some particular thing is causing me to have stress, that's a warning flag for me. What it means is there's something that I haven't completely identified, perhaps in my conscious mind. Whatever it is that we're going to do to start to address that situation, even if it's not solved, the mere fact that we're addressing it dramatically reduces any stress that might come from it. So stress comes from ignoring things that you shouldn't be ignoring, I think in large part. Stress doesn't come, people get stress wrong all the time, in my opinion. Stress doesn't come from hard work. For example, you can be working incredibly hard and loving it, and likewise, you can be out of work and incredibly stressed over that. If you're out of work, but you're going through, a disciplined approach of, a series of job interviews and so on, and working to remedy that situation, you're going to be a lot less stressed than if you're just worrying about it and doing nothing. You need to identify your big ideas, and there should only be 2 or 3 of them. And then if a senior leader, the main job of a senior leader is to identify 2 or 3 important ideas. And the good news is that the big ideas are usually incredibly easy to identify. The big ideas should be obvious. And by the way, it's very hard to maintain a firm grasp of the obvious at all times. So little things can distract you from the obvious. But you have to back up and say, these are the 3 big ideas. How do we always deliver things a little faster? How do we always reduce our cost structure so that we can have prices that are a little lower? And the good thing about these big ideas is they will be stable in time. This is so inconceivable that you can have great conviction as a leader to continue to put energy into driving speed of delivery. And whatever you're, in AWS, I know that customers, they like low prices, they like availability, they don't want the services to be down, they like data security. It's not very hard to figure out what the big ideas are. My view is I don't even like the phrase work-life balance. I think it's misleading. I like the phrase work-life harmony because I know that if I am energized at work, happy at work, feeling like I'm adding value, part of a team, whatever energizes you, that makes me better at home. It makes me a better husband, better father, and likewise, if I'm happy at home, it makes me a better employee, a better boss, all the things. It's not primarily about, there may be crunch periods where it's about the number of hours in the week. That's not the real thing. Usually it's about, do you have energy? And is your work
depriving you of energy, or is your work generating energy for you? And you know, there are people, everybody in this room knows people who fall into these two camps. You're in a meeting and the person comes in the room. Some people come into the meeting and they add energy to the meeting. Other people come into the meeting and the whole meeting just deflates.
If you could have the best of both worlds, if you can have that entrepreneurial spirit and heart, while at the same time having all the advantages that come with scale and scope, think of the things that you could do. And so the question is, how do you achieve that? And I find that there are a lot of things that are protective of the day one mentality. I already spent some time on one of them, which is customer obsession. I think that's the most important thing. If you can, and it gets harder as you get bigger. When you're at little tiny companies, say you're a 10-person startup company, every single person in the company is focused on the customer. It's very challenging, but one of the things that happens is the decision-making velocity slows down. And I think one of the reasons that happens is that people, all say junior executives inside the big company, start to model all decisions as if they are heavyweight, irreversible, highly consequential decisions.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.